All right, chat. We got a lot to talk about today. Let's get to some of the bigger topics. So let's start off. A lot of people online have differing opinions. All right, and I think it's totally fine. I have differing opinions from other people. I express them all the time, sometimes confidently, sometimes wildly incorrectly. There were people online who were like, man, this is why you can't have drinking events, in reference to Mango's behavior at Beerio Kart. Like, this is why you can't have drinking events. It's stupid that you would ever glorify drinking. Bro, 24 people invited, 23 people got drunk, 23 people had a good time, 23 people were normal. Like, I'm sorry. Maybe I am controversial for this, but I don't mind getting drunk. When I get drunk on stream, I'm fine. I don't feel like I need to change my behavior because of the actions of someone else in terms of my own consumption of alcohol. I don't find like I need to do that. I don't have an issue with alcohol. Now, I know like in the moment, people get like a lot more sensitive about it, which I understand, but I don't know. I find that like a little overreaching. Like, I'm making the changes necessary to prevent that from happening. But I don't think the issue was that I drink. I don't think that's the issue, is that I drink in content sometimes. So alcohol is good? No, overall, alcohol is probably just a bad thing. It's probably like a net negative for society, inarguably. But I like getting drunk sometimes and getting a little bit turned with my boy Connor. Does that make me a criminal? Should I be locked up for this? Should I be put behind bars? Yeah, I saw a lot of comments about like things I should have done. And some of them I think were a bit dumb. Some of them were like, you should have sober people at the event. And it's like, we did. Not everyone was drunk there. I don't know. We did have sober people. The people running the event were not drinking. So we did. If anything, I should make people who are not necessarily leaders of the event feel more empowered to do things at the event. That's probably the reality. But if you guys haven't seen the newest update, Mango tweeted out today, C9 dropping me, probably getting banned from tournaments, from Smash tournaments. Fucking shit, man. No one to blame but myself, man. Never thought I could hit this low. Probably won't hear from me for a while. I'm sorry, everyone. Wish I was better. I had it all and fucking tossed it in the trash can. And then followed up with an official statement from Cloud9, which said, we are aware of the recent incident involving Mango. Fully acknowledge the concerns raised by our communities and partners. Following an internal evaluation, we've made the decision to release Mango from Cloud9. Regardless of tenure or accomplishments, the behavior demonstrated is completely unacceptable and directly conflicts with our organization's core values. Blah, 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 blah. I only say blah, 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 blah because it feels a bit corporate of a read. But yeah, Mango cut. And like, I guess possibly also getting banned from Melee tournaments. You killed Mango? Not even a little bit. I don't know if you're memeing or genuine. I feel zero guilt. I don't feel guilty at all. I think this is his own actions because he's his own man. He's an adult man. And me banning him, like, is the only thing that I did in response because I think it was the correct thing to do. And also, I think I specifically said, like, I'm not calling for him to be dropped or banned from Melee tournaments. Like, I don't speak for Melee as a community. I don't speak for C9, obviously. I'm just controlling what I have control over. But it seems like a fun. I'm not going to lie. I am surprised, though. I am surprised he got dropped from C9 because they've stuck with him through, I guess, not necessarily worse moments, but like other dark moments in like fuck ups in his life. Because he's been with them for a decade. He's been with them for, I think he's the longest tenured esports player on C9. Yeah, 11 years. 11 years. So that's crazy. Some people were wondering, because I said I'm banning him from my events, if that means that I'm banning him from Smash events I'm running. I'm not running any Smash events. I have no plans to run any Smash events. They're hard to run, at least with my current relationship with Nintendo. I'm not allowed to run events at the scale that I want them to. I don't run Supernova. That is not a me question. That is their call. Supernova is not my event. Now, I am partnering with them because I'm going to go to Supernova and co-stream the event.
Sanj.
But I don't run the event. That is not my event. That's not a mogul event. I'm just showing up by myself to stream it. So that's up to their call. Is LACS not the scale you want it to be? I can't run LACS at the scale I want to anymore. You're not allowed to do events with a certain level of prize pool anymore. Why do they limit the prize pool? I think it's a branding thing. It's purely like how they want their game to be seen. They want it to be inclusive. Everybody participates and not competitive, sweaty. Like they want an 8-year-old to be playing alongside a 15-year-old for $0. That's their dream. Which is why in Japan you can't even put a prize pool up. But I will see, man. I don't talk about it sincerely too often. I obviously, like, you guys know this about me, but my dad had a serious problem with alcohol. And his rock bottom was death. Candidly, that's what the rock bottom for him was. He never got the better of it. It got the better of him. And his life was like, he was 40. He was 40s. He died at 44 years old. 43 years old, excuse me. Young, right? I'm very close, relatively
Hope
to the
you
age
don't feel too bad.
that
it will
he
get
died
better
at.
less than 3.
And I've talked to Mango in the past. Like, I've asked him probably 4 times, 5 times point blank, are you an alcoholic? And every time he's like, no, I'm not. And has gone months without drinking. So like, I've taken him at face value, but like clearly it's like a problem. And so this is his rock bottom. Hopefully it's his rock bottom. And he bounces back. Cause actually, he messaged me and we'll see, but he said maybe this will be a good thing in the long run, in the sense that maybe this is the wake up call to go fully sober in 3 years, be a better person than he would be if this had never happened and he kept drinking and never got in trouble.
Ronaldo needs help.
But anyway, this is probably more severe than I expected the outcome to be for Mango. I don't know if I'm alone on that. I did not expect him. I thought maybe he might get dropped because candidly, it also makes maybe economic sense for an esports team to cut a Smash player. So not to say that was their intention at all, but I'm sure there's some business aspect to it that they think about. But I'm a bit surprised by the Smash tournament ban, if that happens. But Mango's saying he'll probably get banned from tourneys. I'm a bit surprised by that. Although, okay, real quick, and it is a more minor point. It is a more minor point to the broader thing here. Some people online, I think, are so disingenuous. There were some, because I see some tweets online and they allow no opportunity to actually think and consider decisions. Because I'll give you an example. I was getting messages from people saying, why are you not talking about the Mango thing? Before I was awake. I'm sleeping. And they're like, why are you not talking about this? Bitch, because I'm sleeping. I did it hungover in the morning when I woke up. And I see the same thing happen with C9 and then the broader Melee community. And I'm going to say it, bro. They're LARPers, right? They're not actually Smash community members for the most part. They're people who aren't involved in the community saying, like, how could this community not take action on this? And it's like, in every instance, taking time is a good thing. In every instance. But the issue is, and I'm not saying C9 did this, and I know I didn't do it. I made my decision off of talking to the people affected at my event. I didn't give a fuck, I promise you, at anyone online who barked. Anyone on my Reddit who posted, regardless how many updates you get, I don't give a shit about you. I made my decision talking to the people, like Cutie, Maya, Emily, whoever, which is what you should do. But I do think sometimes, there's this online pressure from people who are as invested as watching a clip, tweeting, and then never participating in the community again. And then people make decisions based off of that backlash, which I think is dumb. I think that shit's dumb. And it happens all the time. It happens all the time. It is not exclusive to this event. It is so fake. It is so fake. It's called cancel culture. Yeah, maybe. I feel like cancel culture has a weird connotation. I really think it's just drama frogs.